Hi there, Hilal. So we've got another set of essays from you. This one is about computer education. Do we need it, or can we just learn this stuff naturally from our daily interactions? Here's what you said. In the modern era, computer education is mandatory for pupils in many schools. This essay will discuss that although I believe that the teaching of this subject is of immense importance in schools, the children of today, we usually say, may learn these skills on their own as well. Okay. All right, now here you don't want the children, because when you say the children, it's as if you're referring to a specific group of children that the reader should know of. That's not the case here. You mean children in general. So just use children without the article. So children have easy access to technology today more than ever, and as a result, they can learn the basics as well as advanced features of virtual operating systems. First and foremost, the basic computer, again, get rid of that the for the same exact reason. Basic computer education. It's just a general thing. You don't need a the. So no the. Just it's an abstract concept. You don't need a the. Essentially, it's a different reason, but again, you don't need a the. So basic computer education taught in schools in many developing countries like Pakistan and India may have become obsolete. I don't know why I say may become obsolete as the technology is becoming more complex. Again, no the in front of technology. Again, abstract idea. It's a subject, so you don't say the chemistry, the math. You say just technology. So, basic computer education taught in schools in many developing countries like Pakistan and industry may become obsolete as technology is becoming more complex. It can be a waste of valuable time for young students as the curriculum will be insufficient to impart any useful information to them. Okay, another main reason is that children have access to the internet, and as such they can learn about this subject in multiple ways, whichever is more suitable to them, such as through video lectures on YouTube, reading blogs on social media, get rid of the, and simply reading articles on Google. Therefore, it can be considered a waste of time to try to teach pupils a pre-designed curriculum which fails to cater to new information as well as new methods of teaching available if students are given access to technology. All right, it's nice. I don't have any complaints about it. Just some of the articles which I've already pointed out to you. So let's move on. Despite the above mentioned reasons, making the subject of computer education mandatory will ensure that children will know the basics of this subject. It will help them to protect themselves from cyberbullying as well. The most beneficial aspect of teaching any subject, especially computers with an S, is that the curriculum is designed with authentic articles and research, and as such it will significantly help the pupils to get the knowledge that is true to its core. For example, get rid of the and say one of the most searched websites on the internet is Wikipedia. Which provides useful information about many subjects, but the authenticity of many articles cannot be established, and therefore it is not recommended as a teaching tool for children by many. I don't know what the relevance of this is, but hopefully you'll get to it. Similarly, when a subject is taught, then the positives as well as the negative aspects of it are taught. This is extremely important nowadays as children are falling prey to hacking and cyberbullying, and in order to protect themselves, they need to know about precautionary measures, which can only be taught by qualified teachers. To illustrate, the data of Facebook and Google recently got hacked. And this resulted in loss of valuable information of the millions of users who were unaware of basic safety measures placed to protect themselves. Hence, as a subject, the children will have qualified staff to teach them about safety protocols against hacking, and the pupils will get authentic information. To conclude, the basic computer education taught in schools is not up to date, and children can learn by means of latest teaching methods and information with access of technology, whereas I firmly believe that qualified teachers can help students from against cyberbullying, and trusted content with a singular will help give authentic knowledge. All right, this kind of confused me. So what are you basically saying? You're saying that this is really confusing. So you're saying that the information is not up to date. So children can learn this stuff with technology. However, this is confusing. The whereas is wrong too. However, I firmly believe that qualified teachers can help students. Okay. Yeah, your conclusion really confused me. There was something wrong with it. I was okay with your examples. They were fine here. Let's see. Articles. Obviously, as far as grammar is concerned, the problem was with the articles. This confused me. Okay. I was okay with this paragraph, and I was mostly okay with this paragraph, although I wasn't really super crazy about this idea of Wikipedia, because what I have found with this essay is that some people mistakenly understand the subject, and they think that it's when we say computer education, we mean education through a computer. But what we really mean is by computer education is how to use computers. So when you used this example here about Wikipedia, that's kind of what I felt you were doing. Like you were talking about learning by use of a computer. So that's why I wasn't really super happy with that idea. The rest of it, though, was very nice. It was well developed, to be sure. Full, detailed, so no real problems, okay? I think I saw that as such a couple of times. It didn't really bother me because you've certainly reduced the number of times you use it. So it was fine. It was a very nicely written essay. Let's take a look now at your task 1. This one's complicated. You've got a line graph and a pie chart, total special trade zone member income, and then you've got the global market shares of all these lovely countries. Okay, this is a little awkward, the top chart and the bottom pie chart. That sounds awkward. So instead say the line graph illustrates the total income in billions. Does it say of 9 countries? I don't know why you assumed that. It just says special trade zone, but it doesn't tell us that it's these 9. So anyway, the line graph illustrates the total income in billions of a special trade zone from 1990 to 2000, whereas the pie chart shows exports. Okay, yes, exports of these individual countries in the year of 2000. Okay. Overall, the total income for all the nations increased gradually until 1997. That's true. Well, yeah. After this year, the revenue became steady. Moreover, Ben's land exports were the highest. Okay, yes. And Peterland was the least. How about, and those of Peterland were the least out of the 9 countries listed. Grammatically, it's more accurate, and it also sounds higher level. In 1990, the total income was just under 120,000 billion. Okay, yes, correct. Okay, good. The total revenue increased steadily with... These aren't really fluctuations. I want you to be careful with the word fluctuation. Basically, fluctuation means ups and downs. You had no ups and downs here. Essentially, all you had was this little plateau. So you had this first plateau, and then you had a second plateau. But those aren't fluctuations. Those are just 2 minor plateaus that lasted 1 year each. Okay? So it's important you understand how to use the word plateau and how to use the word, obviously, fluctuations. Okay? There is a difference. So you have a plateau which lasted, 2 years. So from 1990 to 1991, the figure remained the same. You had an increase and then a second plateau. Okay? So, but they're definitely not fluctuations. As I said, fluctuation means ups and downs, not ups and staying the same. So the total revenue increased steadily with 2 plateaus until 1993. Furthermore, the numbers drastically increased over the next 4 years, reaching a record high of 170,000 billion. While following this peak, the income became steady towards the end of 2000 with almost the same figure. Okay, Ben's land, get rid of the. Bensland and Jamesland, put an E there, had the highest amount of exports, S, in the year 2000, get rid of that of, with Jamesland lagging behind. Okay, I don't know why you have to say Jamesland lagged behind. It's got like this tiny difference here of like 7,000. I mean, 700. I don't know why you said it's lagging behind. While Hyberland, is that Hyber, really? Herbertland, I think you mean. Careful with the way you write these. Herbertland and Peterland occupied last place on the ranking table with only 12 and 11,000 respectively. Okay, ranking table is also like a really awkward expression. So how about while Herbertland and Peterland placed last with only 12 and 11,000 respectively. The three nation Timsland, Joeland, and Fredland all had figures in the 50s, comma, ranking in the middle. Okay, lastly, Andyland generated 75,000, nearly double the income of Darrenland. Okay, let's see. Let's see if I understand this. So, I don't really like, I guess I understand it. Where is Darren's land? Oh, okay, I understand. Okay. So what you did was you decided to go with the top two, and then you talked about the last, and then you talked about the ones in the middle. All right, I guess that makes sense. Okay. I didn't like some of the vocabulary you used. I think I've made that clear. Some of the grammar, some of these things with articles were a little awkward, but it was okay. It was a little long, honestly, so you could have actually reduced this a little bit further. So you could have said that you could have put, for example, Bensland and Jamesland together, since it was such a small difference between them. And then you could say that these two were followed by Andyland, and then close behind were the three of these guys right here, okay, because they're all in that 50s something range. Admittedly, you could probably put this too. So you could say that Darren's land, what is that? Darren's land, Fredland, Herbertland, and Tim's land were all between 47,000 and 56,000 billions, okay? And then you could talk about the last two that were like far smaller. So it's really about grouping similar things together, giving some of these ranges so that you can really economize with time, because both of your essays were so long, Hilal. Look at this. I mean, this was huge. And then your task one was also rather huge. So you could have economized this one a little bit by grouping some of this information together in a little more meaningful way. Overall, it's a good attempt. Your writing is very good. I still think that there's stuff that you can do to, number one, save yourself some time, but still make it meaningful. All right, so let's see what your next essays will look like. I hope you found this helpful, and I'll wait to see what you write next. Good luck.